Mache, and I live in Rwanda. One of my friends in primary school was a Seventh-day Adventist. We often talked about God and we even studied the Bible together. After he moved away, I continued to read the Bible. I found things there that I didn't understand, and I had lots of questions, but no one to ask. Later, when some other Adventist friends invited me to attend their church, I went. The pastor's sermon answered my questions. I continued attending the church and accepted Jesus as my Savior. I was about 15. My mother had just died when my father learned that I was attending the Adventist church. He told me to stop going. I was a teenager, still under my father's rule, but I knew that I had to make my own decision about my faith. He finally allowed me to go to church, but he refused to let me share my faith with him. He warned me that if I joined the Seventh-day Adventist church, I would have to find some place else to live. Then my father became sick. I assured him that God loved him, and he often overheard me praying for him by name. His attitude toward God and my faith changed. He said I could be baptized into the Adventist church. I asked my father to let me call the local church elder to pray for him. He agreed, and the local elder and several other church members came to visit Dad. They spoke to my father and asked if he believed in Jesus. My father nodded. They prayed for him, and that day he accepted Jesus as his Savior. 3 days later, he died. Suddenly, I was the teenage head of our household, with a younger brother and sister to care for. Shortly after Father's funeral, I took the national school exams that allowed me to go on to high school. God blessed me and I passed, in spite of my troubles. My brother and sister went to live with friends, but I felt responsible to pay their school fees. I was still in school and I saw no way to earn money while I was studying, so I quit school and joined the army. I wasn't comfortable being a soldier, but the pay helped my brother and sister stay in school. After 3 years in the army, I was released and returned home to pick up my life. I had many financial difficulties, but I had completed high school. My friend, the church elder, helped me. After I graduated, he urged me to go to Kigali, the capital city, to work. I found work as a carpenter's helper and then as a security guard. My employer allowed me to study at the Adventist University during the day and work as a guard for him at night. In this way, my wages paid my school fees. But then my employer returned to his home in Kenya, and suddenly I had no job. Without work, I continued my studies. I asked my friends to pray with me that God would allow me to continue my studies. They encouraged me, saying that God is faithful if we trust Him. I remembered how God had provided before, and I clung to His promises. My friend suggested that I tell the dean of students about my problems. The dean listened and prayed with me. Then he arranged for me to work as a security guard while I continued my studies. I lived with several friends in a small room near the campus. My job pays just enough to cover the tuition and rent. I pray a lot about money and for books and food, and God always provided. Some days I eat only one meal a day to make my meager funds go as far as possible. But when I need it most, God provides the funds. I am studying to earn a degree in education so I can fulfill God's calling for me to teach. Although I struggle, God is blessing me. I have passed every class I've taken. Through prayer and faith, I am seeing my impossible dream of an education coming true before my eyes. The Adventist University of Central Africa where I study, is building a new campus in this capital city, Kigali, following the destruction during the genocide. More than 2,200 students study here, many of whom are not Adventists. Part of this quarter's 13th Sabbath offering will help complete the campus church multi-purpose center, a central part of the campus. Thank you for helping build this university that ministers to so